Oh my goodness, I do look utterly horrendous. I look like I've just crawled out from a swamp or something. So I'm going to stop looking at the camera screen next to you and just focus directly on the lens, or also you guys. So hello. There is a reason that I'm sat here like this, towel on my head, this on my face, and just in a dressing gown. And that's because I'm just about to go in the bath and I felt struck with inspiration. And that's because I want to give you what I call, I suppose, the naked truth, which isn't literal, otherwise that would be a different type of post entirely. But I am here to give you, I suppose, my truth and a completely unedited, well, mostly unplanned kind of version of what I want to say, which for me is no mean feat. In fact, it's pretty momentous and slightly terrifying. So hi, I'm here to give you, I suppose, a bit more insight into me, my story, my motivation behind starting my own YouTube channel. Because after the last post, the first thing that I did was send it out to some close friends and initially just freak out the fact that I just put it out there on YouTube. But secondly, I wanted to gauge their feedback. You know, friends, they're really good at kind of giving honest comments. So that's what they did. One of my closest friends kind of said that although she liked what I didn't really kind of give very much away. I didn't talk about the hurdles that I've kind of overcome, the challenges that I faced. And in the nicest possible way, I didn't really kind of give you guys any reason to kind of come back and watch me. And upon reflection, she was completely right. She usually is about these types of things. And so I suppose that's what I'm here to do. Another part of kind of the feedback was that the lighting was crap. And it's not going to be any better now. I should be recording this in the day. And that's not the case. So I've just decided to deal with that it's not going to be perfect, and just so I can kind of get it out there. I am going to buy a light, or I don't know, some lighting system. Comment if you can kind of recommend a good one to get. Anyway, so yeah, I have tried to record kind of, I suppose, the full post where I talk about everything that I want to and kind of get it all out there. But as these things often are, they're easier said than done. That's been my experience of it anyway. So I thought I'd be kind to myself and I suppose give you guys a bit of a synopsis of my story and kind of my motivations behind doing that. So that's what I'm here to do. So where do I start? Well, let's start at the beginning, because in the words of Julie Andrews, it's a very good place to start. A little Sound of Music reference there. Don't worry if you don't get it, let's just move on. If you'd watched the last post, you would know that I was in fact born with one arm. Actually, that's not factually correct. I was born with one hand and 1.5 arms. A little visual for you there. I don't know if you can see my smiley face scar here. That was from an operation that I had when I was younger, but I don't need to kind of go into that now. I can tell you that I can tell you about that another time. And yeah, talking about my arm on here has been really strange, and thinking about kind of what I want to say and kind of how I feel about it and kind of what I want to share with you. Because in all honesty, it's not something that I ever really kind of have to give much thought to or have to talk about. Unless I'm in a room full of children, then it seems to be all that I talk about. But I very much want to share my experience of having one arm with you guys. The good, the bad, the ugly, and undoubtedly as well kind of the funny of that too. And it is something that kind of doing this has been a bit of a process for me, because I have had to acknowledge certain feelings and I have had to think about it, which has kind of been interesting for me. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys as well. Oh, I've got an itch. Now I've got it all over my finger. I'll just wipe it on my dress again. And I am really open about it, and I invite any questions that you guys may have. So please just leave them in the comments and I'll happily answer kind of anything that you want to know. So that's kind of the arm. And then the other kind of thing that I suppose has shaped me and my experience quite massively is my childhood. You know, you ask any therapist and they'll tell you it's kind of the basis for quite a lot of our experience. And believe me, I know I've asked a few, or not asked, I suppose. They've sat there and listened and kind of made noises at me. So a quick hello to my current therapist. Hello. She's amazing, she's really patient, and she's kind of, our relationship has really helped me to be able to get to the point where I am now, where I can share things with myself and with others and set kind of good boundaries, and kind of, yeah, I'm really grateful for the support that I have. I pay for it, obviously, but it is something that is, I suppose, part of my life and has been a necessary part of my life. And that's because I suppose my childhood was, let's say, stressful. On the outside, I had a really privileged childhood, and I'm really kind of grateful and thankful for the positive experiences that I did have. But I also experienced trauma. I didn't always have a particularly happy home life, and often relationally I didn't get what I needed. And that has had quite far-reaching consequences, I suppose, then and kind of going into my adult life as well. Mainly around the choices that I made. I didn't really make very healthy choices for myself, and to be honest, I didn't really care. I didn't hold myself in much regard, have, you know, a lot of self-worth, didn't really know who I was, and I had quite a troubled relationship with food and self-care and self-love, and, you know, kind of, I suppose, the core fundamentals of being. And that's something that I've worked really hard at and that I've kind of really brought into my life now. I'm not perfect, but I'm not claiming to be. And I think a big part of this channel for me is continuing on the journey that I've started and kind of just bringing more and more things into my life and getting better and sharing that with you guys and being really honest about the experience. Because honesty is the best policy, as they say, and it helps me to be vulnerable, and I think it could also help others to see me being that way and to talk about and to see me talking about what I'm talking about. So I think I'm babbling, so I'm just going to kind of stop it there and move on. What that experience really has done for me, though, is shape who I am as a parent and who I want to be as a parent. And I don't always get it right, and I've made mistakes in the past, and I have spent my fair share of time in beating myself up for those mistakes. But I'm kind of now starting to accept more readily that I did the best that I could with what I had at the time, and that's all I can do. And I suppose I'm trying to apply that to kind of all areas of my life. But it leads me really nicely onto talking about kind of my children. I have twin boys who are now 9 years old, which is absolutely crazy. But they were unplanned, and it was a shock kind of finding out I was pregnant. But when the sonographer told us that we were having twins, my world turned upside down. My husband went the colour that I am now and just kind of put his head in his hands and just started muttering to himself, which tells you quite a lot about kind of where we were at the time. And I had a really tough pregnancy. My labour story, God, I'll probably do a post on that because it deserves one in its own right, but just to give you kind of a little highlight, I was in labour for a month. Yes, a month. Had an emergency C-section. My husband had food poisoning, and it was very much kind of that Friends Ross and Rachel moment.
Are you okay? You have no idea how much this hurts.
I got through that. but that was kind of the easy part. Once the boys were here, it was chaos, emotional. I don't think you're ever ready to have children completely, but I was far from ready, especially emotionally. I suffered with postnatal depression. I was really low. I didn't have a support network. So I just kind of did what I always do, and that's power through, do what I have to do, keep all the emotions inside until they spill out in this huge kind of outburst. And I was really lonely. You know, not having a support network was a huge thing for me, and it's something that I have changed. I've got back in contact with old friends, and I do talk about these things if they're kind of weighing down, and it's been huge, actually. And none of this is a kind of woe is me, I've had a bad experience and I just see the negative in that, because that's not the case. I do really try to take the positive from my experience, and now from any experience. And yeah, that's it. Oh no, that's not it. There was something else that I wanted to say. So as well as kind of me sharing my journey with you guys, I'm not on this journey alone. I have an amazing family, my 2 twin boys who I've already mentioned, my lovely husband, and Stitch the cat. And we're going to be showing you our family life, I suppose, and all the madness that that entails, as well as kind of, you know, everything that I've talked about. So we'll be cooking, we'll be playing, we'll be just generally sharing our experience with you. We can't wait, and that's everything that I have to say. Well, I think it is anyway. I'm going to stop now because I can't remember what I have said and what I haven't, and I just think that I'm rambling a bit now, so that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I definitely want some more subscribers. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That should now appear somewhere on screen. What else do I have to say? The boys always tell me that I forget something or I don't put it in the right order, but I think I've done it correctly this time. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching again, guys, and tune in for Family Madness with Fizzy soon. Bye!